Hey, set your mind right now. Nothing before this matters. We came here with everything still on the line. Everything you wanted in the offseason is still out in front of you. What would you give for that moment right now? Let's go, man.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing.
Yo, what is good, Raider Nation? It is your boy Raider Alex. I am back for yet another video for you guys. In this video, guys, we're gonna be talking about the quarterback position, and this time not Derek Carr. We're actually gonna be talking about who's gonna be the backup quarterback for this team. With that being said, before I jump into that, anybody that is new to the channel and you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. Because yeah, quarterback is definitely a position where we're going to bring in another guy just because we have Derek Carr. He's going to be the starter. But, you know, who's going to back him up? Because at the moment, we only got Garrett Gilbert. And that guy, I mean, he's a third string quarterback, practice squad quarterback, that sort of thing. You know, if he's our backup man and for whatever reason Derek Carr gets hurt and this guy has to go in there, I am not confident at all. So, you know, we're definitely going to bring somebody in. Now, are we going to bring someone in via free agency or in the draft? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some options, you know, we can consider for the backup role position in this team. So let's talk about some free agency options at the quarterback position. Honestly, the best option that I wanted has already been gone. That was Jacoby Brissett. I wanted him as the backup for this team. That obviously didn't happen. With that being said, there's only two other quarterbacks I looked at on the list that I would be, you know, comfortable with being the backup quarterback on this team. And the first guy on this list is Cam Newton. With Cam Newton, I will say that it's, you know, it depends on whether or not Cam Newton is ready to accept the role as a backup. If he's still at the stage of the career where he thinks he can still be a starter in this league, if he, you know, returns to Carolina Panthers and they offer him the starter position, then obviously this won't happen. But if Cam Newton is ready to accept that role as a backup quarterback, I think this would be a good fit for him. You know, Cam Newton, he's a former MVP. He's got plenty of experience as being a starting quarterback in this league. Not only that, he's familiar with Josh McDaniels and the offense. He was under Josh McDaniels in that 2020 season. I will say he didn't, you know, play particularly great under Josh McDaniels, but at the same time, it's a little different being a backup than it is being a starter. And like I said, he is familiar with McDaniels' system, so that should be a fairly easy transition for him. Also, the thing with Cam Newton is we can use him in the role that I thought that we should have used Marcus Mariota last year. You can bring in Cam Newton and, you know, on the goal line situations, short yardage situations, you know, 4th and 1s, 3rd and 1s, or we're in the red zone when we need to punch it in. You could use a guy like that, you know, Cam Newton, and he could definitely help your team in that way. But overall, I think Cam Newton would be a good option if he's willing to embrace that role. You know, Cam Newton's a guy, you know, God forbid if Derek Carr has to go down for 3 or 4 games. I think this is a guy that, you know, he can keep you afloat. He can definitely win you some games, you know, in the meantime while Derek Carr has to recover from whatever injury he's suffering from. Now, the second quarterback I would consider in free agency is Ryan Fitzpatrick, or should I say Ryan Fitzmagic. The thing with this guy is he's a veteran. He's 39 years old. He's got plenty of experience, you know, in the NFL. You know, he's been a starter before. But the main thing with this guy is, you know, that's basically been his role the grand majority of his time in the NFL as a backup. He knows his role, and I think he's done very well in his role in the NFL. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, just like Cam Newton, if there's ever a point in period where, you know, Carr is out for 4 or 5 games, you know, he can step into that role. He can win you some games, you know, in the meantime while Derek Carr is coming back. Now, those are the only options I would consider in free agency, but, you know, I feel like the most likely approach we're going to take to bringing in a backup quarterback is going to be through the NFL draft. Now, is it going to be this year or next year? I'm not sure, But also, Josh McDaniels recently spoke about this. He basically commented on how they definitely plan on bringing in another quarterback into this roster. And Josh McDaniels spoke about how he wants to develop a sort of cycle where he can continually develop quarterbacks, within a system. And I do not mind that at all. Because when it comes to the quarterback position, it's a position that is in such high demand. So even if you draft a quarterback in the later rounds, even though you already have a starter, I feel like you can still do plenty of things with that. For example, if we draft a quarterback in the 4th round, 5th round, and you continue to develop him, he shows some promise, there's definitely going to be, there's definitely a possibility to flip that. There might be a team that's desperate for a quarterback that would trade a 2nd round pick for that quarterback, and that's just that's immediate trade assets right there. And at the same time, it gives you the flexibility and also the insurance that if in the future Derek Carr and the Raiders want to part ways, if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, if God forbid, if Derek Carr has a career-ending injury, you have a backup, you have another option at the quarterback position. Now, if we are going to draft a quarterback in this year's draft, the one quarterback I am looking at is Bailey Sapp out of Western Kentucky. This guy, I think he'll be, in round 4 to round 5. Definitely if he's there in the 5th round, especially when we got those back-to-back picks, I would not mind. He's got pretty good accuracy throwing the ball. He's pretty good at, on the run, he can still make accurate throws. The only thing I would question is maybe his arm strength. But besides that, a guy like Bailey Sapp, I think he's got a lot of talent. And if he can sit and learn a system with Josh McDaniels for a couple years, man, I think there's definitely potential for him, to have a successful career in the NFL, whether it be with us or with another team if we plan to trade him in the future. Not only that, Bailey Sapp has some crazy numbers too. In the 2021 season alone, he had almost 6,000 yards throwing, 62 touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions. Those are some very impressive numbers for a quarterback, regardless of what school he's from in college. You can't deny I think the potential was there with a guy like Bailey Sapp, especially with an offensive minded coach in Josh McDaniels. I think he could definitely flourish. Like I said, you bring in a guy like this, it's just a backup in case in a couple years the Carr situation, doesn't go as you expected or you plan to part ways, or even if Carr is playing some of his best football, you develop a quarterback like this and you can flip him in the future. But yeah, Raider Nation, it'll be interesting to see, who we bring in at the backup quarterback position for this season. We're definitely going to bring somebody in, and hopefully it's a scenario where we don't even have to, throw out a backup quarterback out there, but you just never know in the NFL. Knock on wood. Carr's only been hurt like twice in his career, in 2016 when he had that season-ending injury, and in 2017 he had an injury too, but he only missed 1 game. So yeah, Carr has been able to stay healthy throughout his career, so I'm not super worried on that. But yeah, Raider Nation, let me know in the comments down below who you guys think we should bring in for the backup role at the quarterback position. With that being said, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys in this video. With that being said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video for anybody that is new to the channel. With that being said, Raider Nation, I will see you guys in the next one.